Hello everyone, this is Carbonomics. Yesterday we had a pretty low volume day for Abaxx, and the market didn't seem to care too much for the business update that was released at the open. Well, this wasn't quite what everyone was hoping for, announcements of partners on the exchange or, a set launch date. This was a positive news release for the company. And keep in mind, many of the shareholders do appreciate the increased news flow, out of the company over the past few months, and this is really a continuation of that, especially with Josh Krohn, the CEO's continued commentary on Twitter. So to start off, last month Abaxx announced in a press release that the company had submitted additional contract specifications to the MAS, including the development of a European LNG contract, as well as a carbon futures contract. Yeah, well, in this month, we've seen this ramp up even further with 4 commodity contracts entering the third and final stage for regulatory submission, and 2 additional products being drafted in phase 2. Here they mention that the submission of their LNG contracts for Europe and Singapore are still on schedule, as well as the carbon futures contract. While it's not mentioned here, Josh has mentioned targeting gold as one of the first contracts outside of LNG, so that could be one of them as well. And nickel's another market that they've been looking to target early on here. Some of the other contracts that could potentially be on the horizon are copper or crude oil, but we will have to wait and see what plans are finalized on this front. I like the company is emphasizing that the exchange is still being developed on schedule here, and that the submission of additional products really doesn't affect the timeline. As the expectation from the investor base is that we'll see the exchange launch by Q1 of 2023. But even if we do have it pushed back to Q2, the company has made significant strides in readying itself for commercial launch, and it certainly does feel different than the situation we had last year. We know that a lot of the meetings Abaxx has been having in Singapore and Europe have been centered around bringing in potential partnerships or expanding their business across the industry. From the bottom here, we have a quote. Abaxx held its first ever APIC event and has registration across commercial firms, futures commission merchants, and brokers, especially those that are relevant and will be potential partners with Abaxx with our initial suite of LNG and carbon futures products. So who are they referring to here? Well, we know a representative from BHP was there, as pointed out by some of the Abaxx shareholders on co.ca. And I would recommend that you go there, if you're looking for a forum to discuss Abaxx. It's definitely the highest quality one out there. We know there is a continued interest from other companies in the commodity space as well. We know as Robert Freeland is an angel investor, he plans to work with Abaxx on trading, green copper. So they're a potential partner on the exchange. And we also know that, last year a board member from Abaxx was in talks with Saudi Aramco, which are likely still ongoing. So there's quite a large list of potential investors in the exchange, and that's just a few of the potential partners there. As far as what they've completed successfully so far as the exchange technology goes, they've tested the trade and order systems. They commenced integration of trading and clearing independent software vendors, or ISVs, and the work required to integrate the ability to transfer data between banking partners. So this time over the last quarter or two was really spent upgrading the tech on the exchange, advancing their cloud trading platform, additional risk analysis capabilities, and other tools along those lines. All of what the FCMs and market participants were demanding. To better integrate exchange partners, they've set up a knowledge center and the preparations to onboard customers and clearing firms. So on all accounts so far, the exchange is nearing a state essentially ready to be brought to the market participants. Abaxx has confirmed that they plan on launching ID++ in the first half of 2023, quite confidently as well in this press release. ID++ being the Web3 based decentralized identity protocol that the company is developing. And they list out some of the ways that they've improved the technology in this snippet here. And as they say, the company is looking to expand the use cases of ID++, which only increases the potential for royalty revenue for Abaxx Tech investors. But ID++ is certainly, over the long term, a very bullish aspect of Abaxx that no one's really focused on at the moment. A number of billion-dollar companies could be largely obsolete overnight, if Abaxx's technology were to reach mass adoption, which of course, isn't easy to do by any means, but it is certainly possible. Companies like Dropbox, DocuSign, or Slack would potentially offer an inferior product to Abaxx, which offers blockchain solutions that these companies really couldn't compete with on a technical level. But as for financials this quarter, Abaxx released financial statements over the last week, and we can see here that cash is around 5.3 million, and short-term investments are around 7.5 million. The vast majority of those are going to be in gold, for a total of around $15 million in liquidity, and this is in Canadian dollars. Given that last quarter they had a total of 17.9 million, that translates to around $3 million in cash burn this quarter, which does make sense, as expenses are ramping up in preparation for the launch of the exchange. But something else to note quickly, Abaxx did essentially sell their entire investment in Air Carbon for a gain over the last quarter, as you can see here. But leaving off with this, Josh has discussed in a recent tweet thread he had, the company will be going over their remaining milestones and critical paths towards exchange launch in the next investor call here. The next catalyst we're kind of looking for the stock is going to be the approval from MAS for the RMO license, as well as any announcement of an official launch date for the exchange. It'll be even better if we have some of the exchange partners defined over the coming several months as well. But the investor call will be on November 22nd, 2022, and I'll likely cover the highlights of that call on Twitter, so feel free to give me a follow over there at Carbonomics. And don't forget to like and comment on this video, and subscribe to the channel as well if you like the content. Thanks for watching.